You have some debt. You also want to start investing, but you only have a limited amount of money at the end of each month, so which one comes first? This is one of the most common financial questions Canadians ask, and the answer isn't what most people expect. It's not always pay off debt first, and it's not always invest first. There's a framework that actually makes sense, and once you understand it, the decision becomes pretty straightforward. Let's get into it. Here's the core principle. Paying off debt is a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate on that debt. If you have a credit card charging 20% interest and you pay it off, you've just earned a guaranteed 20% return on that money. No investment on earth can reliably match that. On the other hand, if you have a low-interest student loan at 5%, the math changes. A diversified stock portfolio has historically returned 7 to 9% annually over long periods. Mathematically, investing while carrying a 5% loan can make sense, especially inside a TFSA, where the growth is tax-free. The break-even rate is generally around 6 to 7%. Below that interest rate, investing is likely the better mathematical move. Above it, paying off debt first is almost always the right call. Here's a clear priority order for Canadians juggling debt and investing. First, always capture your employer's RRSP match. If your employer matches contributions dollar for dollar, that's an instant 100% return. No debt interest rate on earth beats that. Pay the minimums on everything else and grab the full match first. Second, eliminate high-interest debt. Credit cards, payday loans, any debt above 7 or 8%. Attack this aggressively. Pay minimums on everything else and throw every extra dollar at the highest interest rate debt first. This is called the avalanche method, and it is mathematically optimal. Third, once high-interest debt is gone, build a small emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-interest savings account. This prevents you from needing to take on new high-interest debt when an unexpected expense hits. Fourth, start investing in your TFSA. At this point, you likely still have lower interest debt, like a car loan, student loan, or mortgage. You can carry these while investing because the expected return on a diversified ETF portfolio exceeds the cost of the debt over time. Fifth, pay down lower interest debt at your own pace while continuing to invest. There is no single right answer here. Some people feel strongly about being completely debt-free before investing aggressively. That's fine psychologically, even if it's not optimal mathematically. Personal finance is personal. The most common Canadian version of this dilemma is, should I make extra mortgage payments or invest the extra money? With Canadian mortgage rates where they are right now, typically 5 to 6% or higher for new buyers, this is a genuinely close call. Here's how to think about it. If your mortgage rate is above 6%, putting extra money toward the mortgage is a reasonable, low-risk choice. The guaranteed return of reducing that debt is competitive with expected stock market returns. If your mortgage rate is below 5%, investing the extra money in a TFSA likely comes out ahead over a 20-year horizon, based on historical stock market returns. The psychological factor matters too. Some people sleep much better knowing they're paying down their home faster. If carrying investment risk while holding mortgage debt causes you genuine stress, the emotional value of paying it down is real and worth accounting for. Here's your framework in one sentence. Eliminate high-interest debt first, capture any employer match immediately, then invest and pay down low-interest debt in parallel. Most Canadians overcomplicate this decision. The math is actually pretty clear once you know your interest rates and understand what to compare them against. If you've been following this series from the beginning, you now have a complete picture of Canadian personal finance, from opening your first TFSA to building a portfolio, minimizing taxes, planning for CPP, and managing debt. That's a genuinely strong foundation. Next week, we're covering how to actually think about retirement, how much you need, how to calculate your number, and whether the traditional retire at 65 model even makes sense anymore. Subscribe, and I'll see you there. See you then.